Today's Community Corner features the Democratic candidate in the highly charged race for Ulster County District Attorney. Jonathan Sennett recently fended off a possible primary battle with Vincent Bradley Jr., and the race made headlines last week when a fight between Sennett's wife and Kingston Mayor James Sotile appeared on YouTube. Sennett sat down with Hudson Valley Bureau Chief Susan Barnett to discuss the issues.
For me, what I see as most important is first and foremost establishing a dedicated, what I'll call a special victims prosecutor, special victims being victims of domestic violence and sex crimes, children, and also I would now include the elderly. Which previously I don't think that's a category that may have necessarily included elder abuse. But largely, in terms of bringing it all together, I think the big issue in this campaign is transforming, the way that I see it, is transforming the DA's office from simply the lead prosecutor to a community leader in terms of not only of law enforcement, but in terms of getting at the root causes of crime, rallying the people involved already, the local activists, the school boards, PTAs, community groups, law enforcement, parents, citizens, and of course, then the DA's office and the judicial system. I think getting everybody together so that we can address the root causes of crime. That's really, for me, again, one of the more important issues that go beyond just, how many drug cases are we going to prosecute, how many domestic violence cases are we going to prosecute.
Sounds like you're talking about increasing the scope of what the DA's office does to get into kind of the social services and tie all that together.
We want to address crime before it comes in the door. We want to attack the root causes of crime, which are essentially a lack of economics and a lack of education. We want to address crime during the investigative and arrest process. I want the district attorney's office to be on the ground and available to law enforcement. I want to be able to enhance what they're doing by meeting them at the curb and taking the cases, evaluating them up front so that they don't waste further resources. And then the after part for me is, what are we going to do with the cases once they come in the door? I don't want anyone to misunderstand what I've been talking about in terms of being progressive and proactive in my approach. What I want is, I want the police to keep doing what they're doing because I think they're doing a great job. I want to give them more support. But once the cases do come into the courthouse door, I want to deal with them more effectively and more efficiently, more intelligently, in a way that's going to benefit the community and not necessarily just become a statistic in the DA's office for a conviction.
The other two candidates seem to be focusing on drugs and gangs. That's the problem, and everybody's behind the urgent task force. This is a great idea, and these are the two big issues in this area. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree that it's very important. I think that saying that drugs and gangs are the two most important issues is not a misstatement, but saying that, to the exclusion of what I'm talking about, again, I think that type of a narrow approach has not worked. I think that or I should say, it hasn't worked to maximum effect. But I think it's not a question of only saying that we're going to, prosecute drug cases. Of course we're going to prosecute drug cases, but I am talking about dealing with them more efficiently and more effectively.
Why is this such an emotional race?
I wish I could answer that question. This is my first foray into politics, and I can only say this. I can only speak for myself, which is that it is very important to me that the criminal justice system in Ulster County change. I began working as a defense lawyer because of my disappointment in looking at what the Ulster County DA's office was doing, how they handled their particular cases. As a former prosecutor, it touched me in a way that motivated me to go on the other side, which I never thought that I would do. And I've been living here since 2000 with my wife, who's also an attorney, and my two children. I have two daughters that are 8 and 4 years old. And it's important to me that there be equality of justice in this system, and it's so important to me me that that the people of this county have a system that treats them fairly, and that they have a system that doesn't simply grind people through it and just look to get convictions. So everybody else, I wish I knew.
Jonathan Sennett is the Democratic candidate for Ulster County District Attorney. He spoke recently with our Hudson Valley Bureau Chief, Susan Barnett.